Welcome to the NPTE Final Frontier podcast, helping one student at a time. Visit NPTEFF.com to enroll today so you can pass tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us here on the NPTE Final Frontier podcast. My name is Dr. Emily Gerby.
And my name is Dr. David Friedberg. You know, Emily, America isn't the only one celebrating 250 this year.
David, that's right. Now, while the country is celebrating a huge milestone, so are we. We're celebrating 250 episodes of the NPTE Final Frontier podcast. Now, we know it's not quite 250 years, but reaching 250 episodes is something we are incredibly proud of, and we couldn't have done it without all of you.
That's for sure. And I'll tell you, recording with Emily as an incredible host on the NPTE Final Frontier podcast, it may age you 250 years, but I assure you, we haven't done that. But honestly, this is so hard to believe that we actually hit 250 episodes, and the podcast has evolved so much over the years. Especially, it started off with me and Nick recording the podcast with the goal of creating another way for students just to get information, content, advice, and listen to also NPTE Final Frontier in a way to interact with us. So as the podcast started to grow and continue to progress throughout, Emily ended up joining us, and we had the three of us recording together. And the three of us had such a great time, and it was such an amazing opportunity to record together. And then eventually we ended up transitioning to where it was Emily and I. And ever since, it's been such an incredible journey together.
I could not agree more. Being asked to join the podcast has truly been one of the greatest opportunities in my career, especially with Final Frontier. I was already such a believer in what Final Frontier was doing for students. And then when we added on the podcast as an additional supplemental tool for students, I just couldn't believe how amazing it was and how much growth we had within this podcast so quickly. And I think it just goes to show how much students, especially in this current generation, are benefiting from this type of study resource. And we're able to, give our voices and give this information to so many people throughout not only the United States, but throughout the entire world, which has been so amazing. So I'm just so grateful to David, Nick, and the entire Final Frontier team, or should I say family, for trusting me to be a part of this podcast and being able to be a part of such an awesome experience.
Of course. And I remember that phone call as if it was yesterday, where I gave you a phone call. We were texting, and I gave you a phone call to pitch the idea to you. And right away you were on board. And I told you how, just like I always tell you and everybody else on the team, we would make sure that you were fully protected, and we would take care of you, and we would just have a lot of fun. It would be an incredible opportunity, and I am so grateful and happy that you trusted me in Final Frontier and joined us with the podcast. And I feel like recording with you and I, we have grown so close together. We've become really good friends, and it's just such a great opportunity, and it's been such a great pleasure to record with you, Emily. And thank you for joining us on the podcast as one of the hosts. And ever since you got brought on as one of the hosts, you took the ball and you ran with it, and students are gaining so much from it. So, Emily, thank you.
Just so everybody knows, I also have to add this. When David mentioned reaching out to me to see if I wanted to do the podcast, I was like, sure. I mean, I've never done a podcast before. I've never even done this type of teaching style. But if people don't mind my voice, sure, sign me up. And I remember the first night David, Nick, and I recorded, I'm not even kidding, I think it took us over 2 hours to record one episode. We were
Easily.
just chatting and talking, and then 1,000,001 bloopers because we were all new to podcasting. And it's just so fun to see how much it's evolved over these 250 episodes. I am grateful it doesn't take us 2 hours to record them anymore. But David and I normally end up taking longer because we end up catching up for 30 minutes before we even click record. We talk about my dog, Aria. We talk about Marvel movies. The list goes on and on. But either way, it's been so great.
Yeah, it really, really has. And yeah, those episodes were sometimes a little bit tedious, especially because of it was before we even had microphones and the internet, and we were the lagging and stuff like that, over speaking one another. The good old times.
David's calling me out right now, just so everybody knows about the lagging Wi-Fi, because the rural area where I was previously had terrible reception. So I used to always lag and we'd have to redo the recordings. And yeah, that one was on me.
But we live and we learn. We listen and we don't judge. Nobody listening. No. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you. So what's been also really amazing is watching this podcast become more and more than just another study reference and resource for students. It's becoming a part of their routines. I've been hearing so much, same thing with Emily. We've been hearing so much from students about how they're listening to the NPTE Final Frontier podcast while they're driving, while they're exercising, walking their dog, between classes, when they're at the gym, when they're when they're flying, when they're traveling. They're listening to the podcast and they're getting enjoyment from it. And just hearing all the different ways and moments that students are taking to listen to us, it is so incredible. And to add to that, even expanding from not just an audio podcast, but also now a visual aspect where everybody could watch us on YouTube now, and there's no editing on the YouTube aspect. So what you see is what you get. And that transition to even having our videos for students to watch is just incredible. And it is so rewarding and so grateful.
And like David mentioned, now that we have added the video component, I can no longer wear my pajamas during these recordings. I have to wear a Final Frontier polo instead. Don't get me wrong.
So
I might
true.
still be wearing pajama bottoms. Nobody would know.
And you know what? That's the one thing we learned during the Zoom era of everything, that, you know what? As long as you're good from the top up, you're okay.
But really, to our listeners, this episode is all about celebrating you. Every person who's downloaded an episode, who has shared the podcast with a classmate, or reached out to David and I, or anybody else on the Final Frontier team about how these episodes have helped you, has really made this milestone possible and that much more rewarding. So before we do anything else, we just want to say thank you to each and every listener. We do this for you.
Yeah, like what Emily said, thank you, Derek, Dr. Singh, all the students, the team. Emily, thank you. Thank you, Nick, as well. Now, Emily, after 250 episodes, I thought it'd be a little bit fun to ask each other a little bit of information, some questions back and forth. So tell me, what's been your favorite part of this journey within the podcast, besides recording with me?
My favorite part of the journey within the podcast itself, I think it's been when we're at conferences, and I will start talking to a student who comes up to the booth, or maybe we're at a mixer or like a social event, and I'll start talking to them. And then they'll kind of look at me a little bit, and then I'll keep talking, and then I'll introduce myself, and I'll say, "Oh, hi, my name is Emily." And they're like, "You see the light bulb?" And they're like, "From the podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I host the podcast with David." And people are like, "Oh my gosh, I listen to you." So it's a really cool feeling when somebody can like recognize me by my voice, or like once I give their name and then they're like, "Oh, I listen to you while I'm driving or while I'm walking." Or, "Oh, I used you guys to help me, prepare for the exam and then I passed." So I think just seeing how many people we've been able to reach has really been one of my favorite parts of the journey. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. One of my favorite aspects has been all of the people that we've had get to join our podcast as well. All of the special guests that we've had join, whether it's Dr. F. Scott Fiel or Dr. Ellen Hilligus, everybody, I mean, I could name drop right now, but we'll be here for a very long time. But having each and every person that joined us on the podcast, we're thankful for all of them for giving us their time. And also, yeah, everybody just listening to the podcast where they're like, yeah, no, I listened to this. And it's just like, thank you. Like, thank you for letting us know that me and Emily coming home from work, sitting down and recording an episode of a podcast, that it's actually beneficial for you. Because if we didn't get that feedback and we didn't think that it was going to be beneficial for you, if you said that we don't listen and nobody downloaded, nobody subscribed, it would be so much harder. But getting the feedback from each and every one of you that you do listen, you do subscribe, and you do enjoy our podcast, that means the world to us.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much to everyone. And also, like David mentioned, thank you to everyone who's come on that's already in the professional realm and has been a part of our interviewing process. We've been able to build so many long-lasting connections, and it's so exciting to see everybody at, conferences for follow-ups after we've met virtually. So, David, now my turn to ask you a question. What is one thing you've learned about teaching throughout this podcast process?
I definitely learned that it's okay to have a script. I think a lot of people out there think that they have to have everything up in here and they have to have everything by heart and know everything specifically to the details. So this way you can be a great, successful clinician or student or whatever you may be. But the truth is, no, it's okay to have scripts with you as well. It's okay to have the content information and then utilize that to help you produce something such as a podcast or whatever it may be. So I think that that's been one of the most important and valuable things, is that it's okay to have things scripted, and it doesn't mean anything about you.
Yeah, and
What
I
about
think
you?
within the script, before I give my answer, I think within the script itself, it helps give structure, which we need some degree of structure, right? Everybody
Yeah.
needs some level of structure to help promote efficiency and, reduce any confusion amongst communication. But within that, yes, we may utilize a script, but I think that's also an area we've really learned and excelled is, yes, you can use a script, but you don't have to rely on the script. Scripts are to help with structure and like general flow, but we've learned to just like, it's also okay to go off script. Have those moments where you're like, you know what, I'm going a little rogue. I thought of something else that's like great to add on. So I think that's somewhere else we've really learned and grown too, is finding our voices within the podcast, which I guess is actually an awesome segue into what I was going to give as my answer. I'm going to have two. That was my first one. My second one is, I think the using a podcast, we are essentially talking to ourselves and not thinking about how many other people are listening later on. So I think it was finding our own voices and how to be animated and gain, interest so that it doesn't sound like a snooze fest the whole time we're lecturing, because we're talking about physical therapy concepts, right? It's not the most exciting thing in the world at all times, but finding ways to keep ourselves engaged and make it fun has been a really great addition I've been able to utilize within my learning and teaching approaches through other Final Frontier courses and through adjunct faculty teaching. Really like the animation and the fun side of teaching too.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. That's a great response. You did mention that we do go rogue at times, and having scripts is fun, but obviously when sometimes it's fun to go rogue. So I'm going to go rogue.
I was going to say
Emily,
rogue.
of course. Emily, who is somebody that we want on the podcast? Who do you want on the podcast? Maybe episode 500. Who, and it could be anybody. Who's that whale out there that you're trying to get?
Should it be within the Final Frontier team?
It could be anybody. Let's open up to everybody, anybody.
All right. This is the first thing that's coming to mind because you are going rogue with this, and you know I like a little bit of structure. I'm going to keep it close to home and keep it within the Final Frontier team. I think bringing admin onto the podcast for an interview. Like, let's interview Megan Webb or Derek to really talk about like the behind the scenes, because many of our Final Frontier students and listeners, they see Dr. Singh, Varunda, Priyam, David, Megan Duncan, the list goes on about people that are teaching, but they don't realize how much our like admin team who's sending you numerous emails, who's helping you with content support, and everything behind the scenes that's helping you get your program up and running. I would want to host them, I think.
I love that response, and definitely, they're definitely a crew who deserves that spotlight.
We're coming for you guys.
Yeah. Be ready, because they deserve it. A lot of people listening don't realize how much Derek, Megan, and all the other admins actually do to help the function of Final Frontier in the daily basis, from email support to making sure that the website is accurate and functioning, to making sure that the emails are being sent out, to your enrollment, to all of that. So I think that's a great response.
Well, now you have to give your response. Please don't say a wrestler.
All right. I'm not going to say a wrestler, but let's see. I won't say a wrestler. Not thinking any pro wrestlers right now. Definitely
All he's thinking about is pro wrestlers.
Definitely thinking about one pro wrestler, but not going to say one pro wrestler. Okay, I have a person that it would be incredible if we got on the podcast, and maybe we can, but we'll have to see, because who knows. But obviously, our New York Knicks are the NBA champions. And we got our MVP, Jalen Brunson, but we also have another MVP by his side. So I am going to say that we should get Allie Brunson on the podcast. Boom.
All right, Derek. Oh my gosh, I finally made the Derek.
Wow, this is the 250th episode. That's when we
250. It's because I said Derek before. Nobody hold it against me. I'm sure you've all done it too. I was going to say, David, if you manifest it, it will come. So it looks like we're going to be hosting the New York Knicks pretty soon. Nobody hold me to that.
Yes, let's get Allie Brunson on here, and let's get Jalen on here. Let's get Josh Hart. Let's just get everybody. We'll focus on Allie Brunson. Allie Brunson is a physical therapist, a DPT, within New York. So you never know. But yeah.
All right. David has officially gone rogue. Hopefully this all happens. But David, do you want to go rogue one last time and maybe give them something to celebrate about?
I think that we should. I think we should go rogue.
What are we thinking?
So, how do we go rogue a little bit? We just give stuff away. That is what
Final Frontier does. We do that pretty often.
We totally do that. CSM, yeah, you'll get stuff for free. Just stop by the booth. Just schmooze us a little bit, and yeah, okay, we'll cave. But you know what? We're going to cave a little bit right now. How about we give away to our listeners, one lucky listener, a full live course ultimate package deal.
What? Now, say that one more time.
Oh, yeah. I'll say it one more time. I'm not talking about the full life course core. I'm not talking about the core, okay? I'm not talking about the independent study bundle. I'm talking about the full life course ultimate package deal right there.
Woof. Yeah. So what does that even include, David?
Oh, good question. All right, so because we have many listeners and we have PTs and PTAs, so we're going to give away one, but the PT aspect, that's going to include everything. So what does it get? It gets you 3 one-on-one ALPS tutoring which is conducted over Zoom, where that is going to be individualized to whatever topic you want to focus on. It's also going to be a licensed study partner, which is valid for one cohort. And that's going to be incredible. So now we're already talking about a $215 added value and a $300 or estimated and $330 added value. We're just going to rack up all the money. It's going to be a total. We're going to just $999 value. It's going to be 100% online. You're going to get the full live course. You're going to get 30 plus hours of live classes. You're going to get so much more. The recordings, you're going to get the structured 3-month guide. You're going to get 12-month access. You're going to get the practice exams. You're going to get the mini exams and all of it. Exam analysis, that's support that you deserve. And then for the PTAs, let's see, PTAs, we'll do the ultimate too. And let's see, a $999 value. But let's see, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to get 3 one-on-one ALPS tutoring services conducted over Zoom. You're going to get the LSP, and then you're going to get the live lectures. You're going to get the recordings. You're going to get the course guide. You're going to get the practice exam, the mini exam, and the support of the entire Final Frontier team by your side as you get your dream. But
now this sounds too good to be true. It's not. This is true. And David is going to tell you exactly how one lucky winner from the PT world and the PTA world can get these full live course ultimates. And if anybody is like, wait, David just said a lot of stuff. It is a lot of stuff. This is all you need to study. If you have not yet started studying, if you haven't purchased any other packages yet, you are about to get handed to you every single thing you need to succeed and pass your boards exam. You won't need anything else after this. So David, how do they enroll?
Good question. So first off, this must be redeemed by December 31st of 2026. If it is not redeemed by then it's void. But knowing how many people listen to our podcast, it's going to be redeemed. And it's going to happen by all you have to do to enter is go ahead, tag NPTEFF in your story and show us that you are listening to the podcast. It could be that you are downloading it, or it could be a picture of you listening to the podcast whenever you want. It could be wherever you want. Where is the best place that you listen to it? Maybe it's when your car, exercising. Show us you listening to the podcast. And you know what? Maybe we'll choose one PT and one PTA. So yeah, we went rogue, and that's $999 value for both PT and PTA, but only one winner will be selected. And get your submissions in there, because if you don't submit it, then you're not in it for the running. But let's make it maybe we'll do the first person that does it. But let's see. How quickly are you going to enter?
So remember, this must be redeemed by December 31st, 2026. By December 31st, 2026. And all you have to do is tag NPTEFF in an Instagram story and show that you are subscribed to our NPTEFF podcast.
Yes, and we'll do first come, first serve. First person that listens to this episode, first person to tag us in that story, congratulations, you are our winner. But Emily, do you have any last words for them on our episode 250?
I think just to say thank you again. And each and every listener has made this possible. And I'm so excited for our next 250, David. And I can't wait to see how much we grow together and how much our company continues to grow. The sky's the limit.
I can't say it better. But I can say you are powerful. You are strong. You are a Final Frontier warrior. You will pass.
Thank you very much for listening. For more information on Final Frontier, please visit npteff.com. You can also check out all of our social media handles such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Till next time, have a great day and a powerful tomorrow.